Good morning and Happy New Year as we welcome you back to the Geelong Cricket Show for 2010. Yes, we've had the halfway mark and today cricket is back underway for the first year in the second decade of the new millennium. Got it right. At the table of knowledge this morning, we're joined by the man from Barwon Heads. He keeps, he walks, he bats, he talks. He also writes a good comment about the game of cricket. Very warm welcome to Tim Michell.
Thanks, Rollo. Very happy to be here and looking forward to getting out there again and obviously pulling on the whites today. It was nice to have a little breakaway, but certainly looking forward to getting out there and participating again. Obviously, our A grade has a bye down on the BPCA, but pulling on the whites in the B grade, so hopefully get a few more runs out there today.
Be able to get some important practice in because he still wants to play A grade if Barwon Heads make the finals. And our special guest this morning, well, they used to call them the Super Town back in the 70s, and now the Two Blues have always been. But from the Newtown Chilwell Cricket Club, it's a very warm welcome to Scotty Mullen. How are you, Scott?
Good, thanks, Rollo. Thanks for having us along. Looking forward to getting back out there on the park this afternoon.
And I congratulate you on the Two Blues gear there. It's always great to see coming on, dark and light blue. It's stood out for many years.
Thanks, Graham. Yeah, we always like to look after our sponsors and make sure that they're recognised out there in the public eye. So good to see Connectel on board again.
Yeah, well done, Clarkie. Keep up the good work. Let's look at Premier Cricket because Premier Cricket starts today, and it is what is known as the country round of Premier Cricket. But for the reasons that we explained last week, the MCG is available during the country round, and Geelong has drawn the lucky straw. And it's Geelong playing Melbourne up at the MCG in this particular one-day round, whilst the rest of the Premier teams tour around other parts of country Victoria. Tim, an important game for Geelong, starting the second half of the season on top of the ladder. They must win.
Yeah, they'll certainly be chasing a win, Graham, and obviously a positive start to build some momentum coming into the finals. One of the positive things about playing at the MCG for the Cats will be that I think they'll get a deck that they can probably prepare for a lot better than the other side. Some of these sides that are going out to country regions might end up facing one that I think Geelong faced in the country round last year, where they actually came up against a deck that did a fair bit, offered a lot for the bowlers, but we'll probably find at the MCG they'll get a pitch similar than the one that was dished up for the Boxing Day test, which made it pretty easy for the batsmen. And we've seen down here at Geelong this year, it's been much of a batsman's deck, and I think that should suit the Cats and hopefully put them on the way to a win, because Melbourne are actually the closest rival at the moment to them on the ladder that they play after the Christmas break. So if the Cats can get a win first up, then it'll set them right on the way to hopefully taking out that minor premiership and then even bigger honours towards the business end of the season.
Scott, from your perspective as an avid cricket follower in Geelong, the Geelong Cricket Club, they lost for 3 of their first 4 games. They've come on very well in the latter part of the first half of the season, but we've seen them fall away after Christmas. But this time, I think Damien Shanahan has got a very different approach.
Yeah, I think you're right, Graham. As you say, in the past they have tended to fall away a little bit after Christmas, but having spoken to a couple of the guys down there, I know they're certainly very keen to get out on the MCG this week and get a win under the belt, and yeah, hopefully they can take it that extra step and bring home the silverware. Well,
all the very best to Damien Shanahan and his charges for the Geelong Cricket Club as they take on Melbourne this morning at 11 o'clock up at the MCG. Rawlo will have the wheels on after the show. I'm aiming to get up there and get a good seat. I think I'll be battling with hundreds to thousands of people, but it'll still be a great day. Tim, turning our attention to the Bellarine Peninsula Cricket Association, and play gets underway again there today, and some very interesting games. And I think probably the match of the round would be Colindina, currently sitting on top of the ladder, taking on Queenscliff, currently sitting in 4th.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting game, Graham. Interesting to see, in one sense, the team that Colindina come in with, because I know I've spoken about over the last few weeks the fact that there's potentially 2 or 3 really solid inclusions, guys like Ewan Handley, into that Colindina side. So if they can add 2 or 3 to that mix that's already seen them sitting top of the ladder, then the Cobras are going to be very difficult to beat. And I know you've actually done your predicted top 6, Graham, and you've got Queenscliff slipping outside of that final 6. And look, it's going to be an important game for them to obviously get some points and stay within that finals mix, but I can't see them doing it against Colindina because the Cobras, they've set the tone so far, and I can see them continuing on with a fantastic finish to the year. And what is their 20th season as a club, their anniversary also coming up.
Yeah, it'll be a very interesting and tight game. Equally, it'll be Port Arlington and Anglesea down at Port Arlington. The Port Arlington Demons, they're taking all before Damien Vassalou in outstanding form.
Yeah, their last month before Christmas, Port Arlington was really good, and I think if they can continue that form on, and obviously Damien Vassalou, the man that you mentioned there, he's the huge key to their side. He's been so fantastic with both bat and ball stepping up this season, more with the ball taking on opening the bowling this year with Paul McGrath, which is something he hasn't done throughout his time at Port Arlington, but just taking that on with gusto, and he's playing fantastically. For the young Anglesea side, they slipped up against Queenscliff pretty heavily in the one day before Christmas, so need to bounce back, because even though the ladder says that they're sitting second on the My Cricket side at the moment, Rawlo actually sitting sixth, which needs to be rectified, because they did get given the 6 points, which none of the other sides have for the bye. So if you are reading that on the website, Anglesea actually sixth, which promotes all those sides just one spot on the BPCA table at the moment.
So we make a plea to whoever looks after the Bellarine Peninsula Cricket Association website, please correct it. We like to be factual with our information, and we do get our factual information, as we're led to believe, from the website. So the BPCA update. Thank you very much. Drysdale Hawks take on Newcombe. Drysdale can consolidate their place in the top 6 against bottom side Newcombe.
Yeah, they certainly can. Obviously sitting equal on points at the moment with Anglesea in 7th place Barnhead, so it's a real good chance for Drysdale to build a little bit of a buffer. They can go 6 points ahead of Barnhead to have that non-scoring bye, and if the Hawks get 6 points ahead, I think, with the quality in their side, and if they can regain a few of the players that were missing for the last 2 rounds before Christmas, then I can see them consolidating that spot and finishing up in the top 6.
Wellington take on Jan Juck in probably a game that doesn't look as influential on the top 6 at the present time.
If it's going to be influential in any way, Graham, it's going to be because Jan Juck build towards finals. They've got potentially 3 winnable games, and while results need to go their way, I think Aaron Munsey will still back his young side in. They were very close in the last round before Christmas against Barwon Heads. Can't see Wellington making it, but if Jan Juck sneak a victory here, then every chance that the Sharks might send a few flutters through the teams currently in the top 6 as we edge towards the end of the BPCA season.
And the Grubbers sitting in 10th place on the ladder, taking on Barrable. Any chance for the Grubbers to win 2 in a row?
I can't give them any chance. I didn't give them any chance against Newcombe, the bottom side, Graham, so I can't really go and give them a chance against a side that building some pretty ominous momentum before the Christmas break in Barrable, and I think Ben Strawn and his side up from the hill up at series will continue that form on and get another victory, and 6 points that'll see them cement that spot in the top 6 as well.
Well, Rawlo's made his prediction for the Bellarine Peninsula Cricket Association top 6. I'm predicting Colindina will finish on top, Port Arlington 2nd, Anglesea 3rd, Drysdale 4th, Barwon Heads 5th, and Barrable to sleep into 6th position. Tim?
Pretty close to what I had, Rawlo. I actually had Anglesea, who is 6th at the moment, slipping out. Just don't know with the youthful makeup of their side how they're going to handle the pressure as it comes towards the business end of the season. And I think whatever sides do make it, it's going to be a really competitive top 6 and a really competitive final series, because apart from Colindina, who are the side that have set themselves above everyone else at the moment in the BPCA, it's been a really competitive season, and I can see that trend continuing on from here till the end of the 2009-2010 season.
Cricket's back for 2010 as we go to a break, and be back with more after this.